Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. It should be your business to be concerned about what's happening in the political process, and there certainly is a lot going on. In the weeks to come, I plan on doing some shows about how America is quickly evolving into an oligarchy based on the Supreme Court's behavior. It's become a legislative and, to a certain extent, an executive branch unto itself, and really it's kind of abdicated its judicial responsibilities. But today we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening on the presidential campaign front. The Republicans seem to be adding new candidates just about every single day. It's pretty ridiculous. And thought we would spend some time with Ryan McCormick. He's a good friend of this program, and he is a PR authority out of the New York area, but he's also well versed on PR as it relates to politics, and we're going to spend some time talking about that. Ryan, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for having me. Honored to be with you, Mr. Price, and you and your great listeners out there.
Well, thank you. Ryan, a little bit about yourself and the work you do.
Sure. I do media relations, work on reputation management, co-founder at Goldman McCormick PR, goldmanmccormick.com. So we work with all different types of individuals, and it is quite exciting to be in the business right now, seeing all these incredible breaking news stories, especially on the political front.
Yeah, no question about it. So tell me, give me a little bit of a sense of what you guys are watching today, particularly when it comes to 2016.
Well, we're watching to see all these candidates come in the race, and we're as fast as they are coming in, we're going to see several of them kind of get out. Gerald Celente of the Trends Journal says that it is not a presidential election; it is a presidential reality show. And analysts feel that more people are coming into this race in order to distract more people. Because when you look at these candidates, you really have to question and ask, are these people, or any one of these people, going to stay attuned to the true values of America? And I can't find a single one. And I agree with what you said before about America, how it's dramatically changing and that we're becoming this, theocracy, or just becoming like, I don't know what we're becoming, but I don't think we're becoming what the eyes of the Founding Fathers had intended to.
Well, I think it's an oligarchy. I think it's becoming, the Supreme Court is doing things based with no reference to law. I mean, they're just officiating stuff based on their own inclination, and this isn't a new problem. In 1803 in Marbury versus Madison, that process began where they began to insert themselves into law. They wrote, we don't believe that the Congress should be able to do this, although the Constitution didn't say anything otherwise. As early as Thomas Jefferson was saying, I don't think this whole judicial branch thing is going to work. And 212 years later, it's pretty obvious it's not working very well. We have an oligarchy now, I think.
I agree with you, and I feel that the people in the country have no sense whatsoever what true freedom is. I really don't think that they do. I mean, they may think that they say we have freedom, but true freedom is it's becoming awareness and self-education, becoming aware of what your rights are, and that's why I feel they're going in that direction. When you look at these presidential candidates that are out there, they're all coming up promising certain things, and they're saying certain things, and people are agreeing with them. They're not keeping in mind and taking the fact that these people are promising things that they can't do in a democratically elected society. You can't promise to change the law single-handedly. You need to vote and debate, and the fact that all these candidates are kind of subverting that just tells you what the collective consciousness of America is at this point.
Okay. So who is this kind of your sense of all of the candidates on both parties?
Well, I think that's to some degree, when a bottom line, they're going to come down and toe the party line. I'm sure they're probably going to do whatever who's ever backing them up there. There are some interesting candidates to watch. You look at Donald Trump, and I think that he's particularly interesting to watch because he really seems to be free from all the lobbyist money, that he can actually do whatever he wants to do. And it's refreshing to see a person go out, speak whatever they want to say, while not having to kowtow to any particular interest. And I actually think that that's actually going to be Donald Trump's biggest weakness, is the fact that in order to become president, you really do have to sell yourself out to so many different groups because they're the ones that seem to really hold all the power. So Trump's biggest strength of not being able to be bought off will be his ultimate, one of his biggest weaknesses. I think he'll be interesting to watch. I think Rick Santorum, a lot of people disagree with what he says, but I think he's an interesting person to watch because he says things that I think are pretty controversial. So it'll be interesting to see how he presents himself in the wake of the Supreme Court decision on same-sex marriage. Now, going forward and looking how these candidates are going to present themselves, it's a toss-up, but I'm sure we're probably going to wind up seeing Jeb Bush. We're going to see somebody who's just, not going to stir the waters up, is just going to keep the social norm going.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's probably true. I'm shocked when you were talking about contrarians that you didn't include Rand Paul and Ted Cruz in that group.
No, Rand Paul, none whatsoever. I don't think he's his father at all. And when he went out and he supported Romney in 2012, knowing that Romney was supporting the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act, which allowed Americans to be detained indefinitely without any trial, I thought that was a real telltale sign of who he was. And I just think Ron Paul is not his father. Rand Paul is not his father. And there are a lot of questions I have about him. He doesn't have his father's firm stances. He doesn't take the stances that his father did. As far as Ted Cruz goes, Ted Cruz supported a lot of the same particular stances out there. So as far as who do we literally hope for, I think the American people have to look within, because that's the one person. The person in the mirror is going to be the person that's going to probably impact your life the most in this election.
I think in my personal opinion, I've known Rand since college. We were both recruited into Young Conservatives of Texas together. I would say of the group, and I know both Ted, I know several in the group actually personally, but of the group, I would think Rand Paul and Ted Cruz are the most ideologically pure. Are they perfect? No, but they're pretty pure. My concern about someone like Donald Trump, and I love Donald Trump in a race, and I love the fact that he doesn't have a filter where he isn't weighing all of his words like the rest of these guys constantly do, making them look like cowards, in my opinion, when America is looking for someone heroic. But the problem with him is that he doesn't have a consistent philosophical worldview, which I think is really crucial.
And it's one thing I just have to say real quick about Rand Paul. He actually, to his credit, he actually stood up and stood for 11 hours to protest the idea of unmanned drones being targeted for Americans. So for that position, I commend him. I commend him for actually bringing to the attention of his fellow candidates a lot of issues that a lot of libertarians do hold dear to their hearts. You don't know if any particular candidate is going to do the right thing, but it's I will actually agree with you on that I do think that he is a little bit more to the liking of a libertarian or more freedom-based person that we want to see.
Yeah, and then and my biggest problem with Rand and Ted is that they are both senators. I don't want someone from the legislative branch. There's a reason why Barack Obama is the first U.S. senator elected since 1960, and that's because U.S. senators make lousy presidents. They don't know how to make decisions. They're not good chief executives, which has made me kind of interested in Scott Walker, which you didn't mention him. What is your thoughts of Governor Walker?
My thoughts is that I don't think he's even on the radar. I think a lot of these people you have to look at as well, and you say, okay, well, this person's got good stances, that person has good stances. I think what it really comes down to is, can they stay in the race? Does he have fundraising? I don't know if he's got the fundraising capability. I mean, even if a gentleman like Rand Paul or even Ted Cruz took off and they were doing really popular, do they have the machine in order to keep themselves in the race for a long period of time? And this is $1 billion race, and I don't know if they do or not. So as far as the Walker goes, I don't know if he's got the capability of having the fundraising efforts, and I also don't know if he's got the capability of really emotionally provoking people to flat out love him or catch on fire with him. I think Hillary Clinton, in one way, she definitely has the fundraising capability, and she definitely has a strong base of people that will vote for her no matter what. And when you look at the race, it really comes down to money, and I think that's going to be a really major key factor for this race.
Very good, Ryan McCormick. I love what you do, and we enjoy working with you. I'm sure we'll be doing some more stuff together in the future. Ryan McCormick, he's co-founder of Goldman McCormick PR, and you can learn more about him there at goldmanmccormick.com. And we'll look forward to talking to you again soon, sir.
Got it, Mr. Price. Thank you so much. Honor to be with you and your listeners.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdatareview.com.